We're having a lot of fun today. So welcome to the program. I'm Terry McLendon, Director of Membership and Community Development with the Bartlett Chamber. I'm co-host with Maria with Heartbeat of Bartlett. It's a podcast designed to talk about small businesses in Bartlett. So we couldn't do this podcast without my co-host, Maria McLendon, and the sponsorship of First South Financial and V2 Media doing all the hard lifting behind the scenes. So I'm going to turn it over to Maria to introduce herself, and then we'll get our amazing guests to introduce themselves as well.
Thank you, Terry. It's always such a pleasure to be here with you. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So I'm Maria McLendon. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for First South Financial, and it is absolutely our pleasure and privilege to be able to sponsor this program and deliver this podcast to the amazing people of the Bartlett community and to talk about the heartbeat of Bartlett, because as we all know, small businesses and the community are truly the heartbeat of any town. So we've got awesome guests here today, and I will let them introduce themselves. Sharon, if you'll go first, please.
I'm Sharon Fryman. I'm the Senior Program Director for Active Healthy Adults for YMCA of Memphis in the Mid-South. I've been with the Y since 2018 as an instructor, but this is a new role, and so I'm excited to be a part of the Y movement and what we're doing for this area.
And I'm Brian McLaughlin. I see we like to have fun on this podcast, so that's good.
The more fun, the better.
Yeah, I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the YMCA of Memphis in the Mid-South, and we're really excited to be here and talking about Bartlett and about the YMCA and everything that's going on and happening.
Well, speaking of fun, I mean, the YMCA is a place to have a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about YMCA of the Mid-South, like talk us through locations, events, and activities, that kind of stuff?
Sure. I could talk for a while, so I won't go on too long. But, you know, I always like to describe the Y in a couple different buckets. So the first thing is health and wellness. That's what everybody sees is like our traditional, what we call a gym and a swim, a building where a family, individuals can come into the Y. You can work out, you can have fun, you can do all of the things. Then the next bucket is really youth development. So in youth development, we are in 17 different school districts. We offer before and after school. And we offer those for elementary and middle schools. And then we are a provider of early learning. So child care, currently right now we have 5 child care centers. We'll have 10 before the end of the year. We've made a huge commitment in investing in our little ones so that they're ready for school. And then the next bucket is food. We are the largest provider of meals to youth in the whole country. So
that's amazing.
I didn't know that.
So the Y locally, we have partner-wise that do the same thing all across the country, but we are the program that is serving a lot of kids, about 40,000 meals a week to kids across our service area. And then the last bucket of that is really workforce development. It's how are we preparing our kids today, our youth today, for the future, whatever that looks like in a post-secondary opportunity. So I told you kind of all the serious part of it, but within all of those buckets, it's fun, it's exciting. Everybody has a Y story.
Yeah. I have a Y story.
Really?
I mean, truly, when my kids were young, I took advantage of all of the childcare programs that were available through the Y because it was a safe, friendly place that I could trust. And I mean, you know, you don't want to send your little ones. You don't want to send your little ones off, period.
That's right.
But if you are going to send them off, you want, you know, it was so important to me that they were going to a place where they're going to be both physically and mentally engaged. And they were going to be safe and well taken care of. So that's my Y story. It meant a lot to me.
That's pretty cool.
Both our boys were on the swim team at our local Y.
Okay.
And, you know, they just had so much fun there. And it is such a great group of people and people that really, really do care.
Yeah.
So I think, like, you're right. I think everyone has, what are y'all's Y stories? I'm sure you guys have one as well.
What are your Y stories?
Well, I grew up in the Y. So I was a Y kid. and went to summer camp, and I was in summer camp, and one of the directors said, "Hey, listen, maybe you should help me in the office." And I'm like, oh, a young kid, I'm like, oh yeah, I get to be in the office, right? And so I started helping out there, and then volunteering. I got a work permit at 13, and I haven't stopped working at the Y since then. So so I've moved all across the country. Our home is now here, but I started in Virginia, went to Seattle, opened some new Ys in Seattle, and then landed here to kind of really help the Y of Memphis in the Mid-South. And I have just become connected with this community and love it.
I love
That's
it.
awesome.
That made me think that my youngest was a lifeguard at the
Oh,
Y.
yeah.
And he went into the Marines 9 days after high school, but I think that swimming really was one of the things that helped him. And some of the things that he had to do. So, it's just it's amazing.
So interesting fact that the Y is so the first is, we get the second place position for this, but the first is McDonald's, second is the Y for being a first place of employment for teens.
Oh, wow.
So when you think of first jobs,
was his first job.
the YMCA nationally is number 2 right behind McDonald's of employers of youth.
That's so cool.
It's pretty cool to think that everybody kind of has a Y story that they kind of started or can be connected to.
Right.
Sharon, what's your Y story? You've
Well,
got
I
a lot
work-
of Y
I know
stories.
she's going to have some time to think.
I worked at a Y one summer. It wouldn't have been my first job, but it would have been my second or third job. But then mine is that I was a Y attender. I attended group fitness classes, and finally one day one of the instructors sent me a link and said, "Get certified. No more excuses. No more excuses." So that was a wonderful thing. I regularly tell her thank you so much. And I have the honor of being able to teach at the Y and at Bartlett Rec, which I'm sure we're going to get to talk about that.
We are.
So I love what I get to do with people as a group fitness instructor.
That's awesome.
And how long have you been an instructor now?
Since 2018.
2018. Wow.
Yep.
That is phenomenal. So should we jump
Yeah,
right into
so-
their big news?
Yeah, so is there a Y location in Bartlett?
There is a Y location in Bartlett, and we are so excited about this. And this is unique. It's not just your normal Y. This is a partnership between the city of Bartlett and the YMCA, first of its kind. And I could not be more excited to be able to know that the Y is going to have a physical presence. We've been in Bartlett for a while now. We've been providing before and after school in all the schools. But this is really the next step of really that thinking through a community. When we think of that community, we think through cradle all the way until your active older years, right?
Yeah.
And so we're super excited about it. It's been a journey, and we think that we can merge both of those services. What the Bartlett Rec was already doing with what the Y does, and wow, you put those two things together.
Get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Powerful magic can happen.
Yeah.
So for anyone who is not 100% familiar with what we're talking about, the Bartlett Rec Center, which has been an important resource for the community in the city of Bartlett, the management is being taken over by the YMCA.
That's right.
And when is that effective?
So it's already in process now. I tell everybody we're on a journey. Currently the employees have already transitioned to the Y. All of the employees were offered a job with the Y so that the members see the same faces. But April 8th will be the first time that members actually are scanning into kind of the Y. We're kind of calling it our launch day, but we are investing over $750,000 into the facility. That's going to be over the next couple months. Right. We're not going to close. But we do have to do some renovations to give the Bartlett residents that next step to bring that magic to it.
What are some big things that you think changes that people might see coming up?
Yeah, there's two big things, but one of the first things that people will see immediately is new equipment. So, one of our investments in that facility is making sure that they have a world-class pieces of equipment, whether that's cardio or weightlifting. And then long-term is really a summer experience. So tell
us about that, because I've heard a little bit before, and it's so exciting.
We call it the summer experience, but really it's a place where families can go, individuals can go, and you can stay there for 4 to 5 hours. It's not like your typical go in, swim, play a little bit, but there are amenities that are associated with that pool that are able to keep you there for 4 to 5 hours. Now, everybody asks me the question of, what does it look like? Well, I don't know the answer because it really is up to the community. We will do a lot of community input to get there. We'll bring experts in aquatics in there. Every community is different in what they need. And so, I've heard things like lazy rivers and wave riders.
I would love a lazy river. For that one.
I vote for that too.
Yeah, exactly. Wave riders, all kinds of things. So the long story short is that we want to make sure that it is exactly what the community wants. So we'll do some community input sessions. And it's not just about the pool or the aquatics, but it's about, playing yard games, just like being able to have everything around that pool, that it's a full experience. It's not just about getting in the water. So
pay attention, you guys, and make sure that you're engaged, because they do want to hear what your thoughts are and your voice
Lazy
on that.
River. Everybody vote
for
Lazy
that
River.
one. I agree.
Yeah.
So we are talking about Bartlett, but the YMCA is not it's not limited to Bartlett.
That's right.
The organization is YMCA of the Mid-South. Can you just give us a little plug of some of the other locations? And you mentioned just a moment ago that every community is different. Like, very quickly, kind of give us a flavor.
And I've got a quick question on that. Isn't this one going to be different?
It is going to be different.
Because this isn't going to be like your typicals, because this is just open to the Bartlett residents, correct?
That's right. So for this YMCA, if you're a member of the Bartlett YMCA, resident of Bartlett, then you'll be able to use our whole network. But you have to be a member of that YMCA to use that YMCA.
Which is not the typical.
That's very different than what we've done before.
That are like that, but not very many.
But we were really intentional to do that because this was a city amenity, right?
Yeah.
And so we were very sensitive to know that we've got to make sure that we have all the space in that center for the residents of Bartlett. Right. And so, but we also wanted them to have the benefits of YMCA. When you travel, you can use a YMCA all across the country. Or frankly, if you wanted to go use a Y in Collierville or another Y, you would be able to do that too.
Yeah, so we have some fabulous locations, and they're all very unique. That's something I wanted to reassure even just my fellow instructors, that every Y has its own flavor, its own sense of community. And so if you go to the Johnson Y that's in Whitehaven, there's one kind of maybe energy that's there. The Fogelman downtown, YMCA Collierville, Rick Newber is an East Memphis location. We have Oxford and Olive Branch, and then Trenton, Tennessee, Milan, Tennessee. Cordova is very dear to my heart. That was my first class where I taught, was in Cordova. So every Y is special in its own way. The Bartlett Y is going to be special in its own way too.
And it's great. It's great that your Y membership allows you access to all of the different locations. A quick little quip for the audience, which Sharon alerted me to, is that for the vast majority of YMCA locations in the greater Memphis area, it's within 2 miles of a First South location. So if you are going to your if you're going to your local First South branch, you can get a quick workout in before or after at the neighboring YMCA.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right
really
there.
cool.
You're right there around the corner.
I love that.
That's right. So Sharon, the work that you do with the Y is very unique as well. And you said it was a new role. Can you tell us about the role? Can you tell us about why it was created and what you're doing?
I would love to. So I was hired as Senior Program Director for Active Older Adults, concentrating on the needs of our members that are in the 60-plus age range, trying to do programming for them outside of the group fitness classes, things to engage them, have more social interaction, be concerned for their emotional well-being and their physical well-being, all of it. Well, so I was on the job for 2 days, and I was told very clearly by several members that they did not like being called older. So we have rebranded as the Active Healthy Adults, which is great, because really my emphasis is not just in adding a lifespan, how many more years not just your
Yeah.
lifespan,
Quality, yeah.
but your health span.
Yeah.
So we want to include everything in that. Your financial health. First South has already presented to some of our active, healthy adults, talking about protection against scams, against seniors, making great choices with your money. So financial health, emotional health, and having fun. I've gotten to play a lot of bingo. Yay! I got to dress up as the Easter Bunny today for an event. So we are having a great time together. So that's one thing, kind of like a bucket.
Yep.
One of my buckets is having fun and getting healthier with our current active, healthy adults. And then the other bucket is to find more.
Yeah.
We have partnerships with two programs called Renew Active and Silver and Fit. And these are a part of a lot of people's Medicare supplements. And then it makes them eligible for a free Y membership. No joining fee, nothing.
That's
and
amazing.
They just need to join. And I just am on a mission to find more people to become healthier and I guess just more joy out of life.
Yeah,
I love it.
So we were talking briefly before we started recording about some of the statistics related to being engaged and taking care of your physical and mental health. Can you talk a little bit about those?
Sure. Well, it's kind of shocking to me, but the CDC has said over half of adults that are 50 plus are lonely. And you would think, oh, yeah, that's not natural. They're lonely. But the loneliness becomes a bigger risk factor for heart disease, obesity, dementia than smoking. I'm sorry, I messed that up. The fact that you are lonely is a bigger risk factor than smoking, obesity, or physical inactivity. It makes being lonely makes you more likely to have heart disease. Being lonely makes you more likely to have diabetes. All of those are tied in. So the fact that we have members that are coming every Monday and Wednesday and Friday to those classes.
Yeah.
They're coming every Thursday to their line dancing, or they're coming for chair one, or they're coming just because this person said, come walk laps for me. We are making a huge difference in getting them connected to other people. And I just want to continue that emphasis.
It's amazing. It's amazing the power of social connection, the power of the personal strength that you can get from the fact that there's someone who cares about you.
Yep.
So much. So we were playing bingo
Yeah, exactly.
at Rick Newber, and one lady came and she said, "Thank you for doing this. Nobody loves us because we're old."
Oh.
And so I got to just hug her and say, I love you, you know, and so I know that my position is making a difference. Our instructors, our instructors are just champions for the people in their classes. And talk about why stories. We have an 87-year-old wonderful woman that comes to water aerobics and just is very, very faithful. She feels like she has all these people cheering her on, and she doesn't really think she's even that special that she's 87 getting in and out of the water. You know, I was like, you're my hero. That's awesome.
Hey, Sharon, tell us how those families that might be listening that have healthy, older's not, I'm trying to avoid that word.
Active adult.
Healthy, active adult in their family. How can they reach out? Like, what's the best way to get them connected with y'all?
So easy, visit a Y. Come to the front desk. Our membership coordinators are going to want to connect them to see if they are eligible for through their insurance for a free Y membership. But if you don't want to come visit, it's so easy to call the number on the back of the insurance card. And this is the question that you want to ask. What is my wellness benefit? Those are my favorite 5 words now, because almost everyone has a wellness benefit. And if it's Renew Active or Silver and Fit, come on, because it's free. It's free.
That's awesome.
So visiting a Y will find out if you're eligible, but also you could call your insurance company and find out what your wellness
And what age
benefit
does
is.
that typically start at? You said?
Usually 65.
Okay.
Now my programming is we had kids today at bingo, and so I'm not going to card anybody and say you got to be 60 to come.
And that's some great interaction too. I love
Yeah.
that's one of the things I love about the Y is you have all ages and they're getting to interact and they need each other.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
and in fact, so I'm totally talking off the cuff here, but there is a research study, I think multiple research studies, that talk about engaging young children, preschool age children,
right.
with seniors
Yes.
and the incredible benefit that it gives both
Both.
age groups. Yeah.
Yeah.
And something important to note about Bartlett is that that will be the only location that will actually take Silver Sneakers as well too. So we'll have Renew Active, and what's the other one?
Silver and
and Fit, and then Silver Sneakers will be at the Bartlett location only. But we don't accept that at any of our otherwise. But Bartlett already had a program established with Silver Sneakers, and we wanted to make sure that there would be no interruption in those services for
I
those
love
members.
that. I
So-
love that you thought of everything to make sure that that community is so well taken care of, and that it's only upside and no negatives
That's
for that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hope
So-
everybody gets excited.
Yeah.
So it always surprises me how quickly the time
I know.
goes. So
Yeah.
we only have time for a couple more questions, but there are so we're moving into spring and summer.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how people of all ages can engage in experiences at the Y. Can you talk us through a couple of important ones that people will want to be a part of?
Yeah, well, let's talk about spring. And the one thing that I say all the time is swim lessons, swim lessons,
Yeah.
swim
Yes.
lessons. Like, right? Especially in our area, lots of people get in pools, and we've got to make sure our kids are safe in and around pools. It's the leading cause of death of children is actually drowning.
I
know
didn't
that.
know that.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not heart disease and not any of that stuff. It is drowning. So we've got to get kids swim lessons, whether you have a backyard pool or whatever that looks like. So we really focus spring on swim lessons and getting kids ready for the summer. Hey, listen, you don't have to know how to swim, but you do have to know how to be safe around the water, right?
Yeah.
And then there are so many fun things, when it comes to fitness, everybody's trying to get their summer body, I guess, ready, right? So we normally have an uptick in, want the requests for personal training, things like that. But we really encourage you to get out there with your family and your friends and make working out just fun, because if it's fun, you'll do it, right?
Yeah.
Like if it's a chore every single day, well, it's easy to put off, right?
Yeah.
And so
And having somebody else to do it with, which is so much
exactly
fun.
accountability, right? Like so that's spring, and then summer. It's just get outside, be in the pools. We have really great pools. Sharon kind of said this, but all of our pools are different, right? So that's the great part about the Y. You can, go to the Bartlett Y and use the splash pad, or you can go to our Millington Y, and it's basically zero entry all the way through for kids that can use it the whole time, right? But gets them acclimated to water even more. So, and best for parents, you can sit in the water and not be hot while your kid's playing in the water, right?
Well, and I think every Y also has kind of different temperatures. I don't know about back in the day. I don't know anymore about what this one, but this one was more geared towards the younger, the swim teams and stuff like that.
That's
Seemed
right.
like it was a little bit cooler, whereas the Millington Y was set for more of the active, healthy
The
adults.
Yeah.
And
Water
so it
aerobics.
was good for those that had more arthritis and kind of issues. So I love that too, that if for some reason you don't like the temperature of the pool, check out another Y.
Yeah, exactly.
And
right?
ask them, what temperature do you keep your pool at?
Yeah, and
So-
all through the summer we have summer bashes, movies at the pool.
Oh,
So we
wow.
close down the pool essentially, and you can do. They're like a flick and float. But it's really fun for you to come out and you can watch a movie on the big screen and lay in the pool, right? And play in the pool and do all of those things. So it's just, I think spring and summer is one of the most exciting times at the Y, and we have lots and lots of summer camps. So, I was a kid that had two working parents, and I was so thankful that I got to go to the Y and have fun, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, they're rocking it out this
yeah,
summer.
exactly. That's the theme this summer. Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, and there will be a camp at the Bartlett Rec Center or the Bartlett YMCA this year. So we there was a camp there before, and we have a camp directly across the street at Faith Cumberland, which is I'd say filled to the gills. But hundreds of kids register for our camps, and so we're excited to add the Bartlett Y to that family.
I love
And that's
it.
so important. The focus of this program is the small business community in Bartlett, and one of the biggest pain points for business owners or any professional really is childcare. And the fact that you've got so many resources available to people, I think it's really, really important. It's a very valuable service that you provide to our community.
Yep, that's right. And speaking of childcare, we have a little bit.
Just a second or two.
Just a little bit. The only thing that I'll add about that is we are working right now on what we call fractional childcare, which sounds weird, but the reality is there's a lot of small businesses who can't offer a childcare benefit.
That's true.
For their employees.
Right.
Well, the Y right now is really thinking outside of the box to say, hey, listen, you don't have to build a childcare center to support your workforce, but what if you needed 3 spaces?
Wow.
And we could reserve 3 spaces for your employees.
Oh, that's so
That's
cool.
Maybe you subsidize a little bit, but then you have maybe 15 businesses that go in together to help support childcare, and everybody wins through the benefit.
That is
That's
wonderful.
amazing.
It's not out yet. We're trying to form it, but if there are people interested and want to be on that pilot with us, we'd love to start that because we know that childcare is a huge barrier for the workforce and affordable childcare.
That's the key.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
There.
we can get childcare all day long, but
Right.
if parents can't afford it, then it really
Right.
doesn't help the workforce.
How can business owners who would like to talk to you about that pilot program, how do they engage?
Yeah, so they can reach directly out to me, or they can actually reach out to our main number, and they'll get them to me.
So
Do you
what
wanna
is a
share the
number,
main
email,
number?
or a
Yeah.
number that they can call?
Yeah, it's 901-766-7677. And they can get you directly to me. We can kind of explore that. But, the number one call I get every single day is not about swimming. It's about, I need childcare for my employees.
Yeah.
Or I need childcare and I don't know where to get it, right? And so we are working directly with the DHS right now and the state to expand childcare spaces, and we can't do it the same way we've done all along.
Right.
The increase of childcare is going way up, and we're committed to fight that
Yeah.
and push the cost into an affordable range so that people can work,
Yeah.
feel good
Love
about
it.
where their kids are, and at the same time have affordable, high-quality childcare that gets their kids prepared for kindergarten.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here with us. I think we've gotten a ton of information. You want to close us out?
Are we going to sing at the end of this one? I mean, we
Oh my
did
gosh.
a song.
We'll
at the
leave
last-
that to the 3 of you.
Oh,
and
my
our
Song
watch.
you could be thinking of.
Is there a song out there?
One in particular, and I think that we've talked about it throughout this conversation.
I think
about
it might have some R&B.
how
Oh
it's
my gosh.
Yeah.
it's fun to be at the Mid-South
YMCA.
And I don't remember it, so
Yeah.
I'm not coordinated. Y'all did great.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I think
We'll let you close us out.
there's going to be a lot of fun opportunities at the Mid-South YMCA and the new Bartlett. Is it Bartlett YMCA now?
It's Bartlett YMCA.
Changing the name to
Yep.
Bartlett YMCA. So make sure you check those out. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, Brian and Sharon, for being on the show. It was a lot of fun to have you
was.
here. And as always, thank you to V2 Media that makes this podcast possible. And remember that you can find us anywhere you consume podcasts. So that's YouTube, Spotify, Apple, anywhere you can find a podcast. And when you do, check us out. Make sure you like, subscribe, and
ring that bell.
ring-a-ding-ding. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.